Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. The Young and the Restless spoilers. Martin is Sharon and Phyllis captor Alan's evil twin runs experiment. The Young and the Restless Y&R spoilers reveal that all signs now point to Martin Laurent Christopher Cousins as Sharon Newman Sharon Case and Phyllis Summers Michelle Stafford captor. It looks like Alan Laurent's Christopher Cousins' evil twin is behind this creepy experiment, so let us talk about all the clues that have piled up. Back in August 2024, the show offered up a huge hint that Alan might actually be Martin. When Alan came home with Tracy Abbott Beth Maitland, he marveled at the Abbott mansion like it was his first time there. Although Alan ultimately claimed he just never appreciated the Abbott house before, it was definitely a weird red flag. Many fans suspected that Alan might turn out to be Martin, but the show never really followed up on the idea, at least until now. If Martin was actually the twin who lived following the balcony fall, then he's apparently been playing the part of Alan ever since. Of course, that doesn't mean the show totally committed to the twist until this storyline came along involving Sharon and Phyllis' strange captor. It's only now that Y&R's truly moving forward with the Martin angle and setting things in motion for the big reveal. There have been hints to suggest that Phyllis and Sharon captor might be a former mental patient, especially since he's keeping them locked up in an abandoned psychiatric clinic. Even Billy Abbott Jason Thompson suggested that another madman besides Ian Ward Ray Wise might be to blame for Sharon and Phyllis' ordeal, and Martin would certainly qualify as a madman. Plus, we know Martin liked to think of himself as someone who had better techniques than Alan when it came to patients. Martin pushed Ashley Abbott Eileen Davidson way too hard with his hypnosis tactics as he worked to prove he was superior to his brother. In the March 11th episode, Sharon and Phyllis' captor confessed that the game should be thought of like an experiment. The person behind all this is treating Phyllis and Sharon like lab rats because he wants the satisfaction of being right about his methods. We know that Alan previously talked about doing a psychological study and requested an interview with Sharon for his book. If that was actually Martin, he may have become even more obsessed with Sharon through her hypnosis sessions during the Ian and Jordan Colleen Zenk storyline. Maybe Martin got it stuck in his head that he could help Sharon and Phyllis overcome their long-time feud by going to extremes. Martin likely researched Phyllis and Sharon's past for this project, which Sharon suspects is an attempt to prove their kidnapper's brilliance. Now Alan is suddenly set to make more appearances with Tracy, and it's worth noting that he seems a little off in Y&R's week of March 10th preview video. It feels like the show's leaning into making Alan look a little wilder, like Martin and Christopher Cousins may have been given the green light to play Alan like his evil twin ahead of this shocking revelation. Sadly, Tracy's world may come crashing down once the truth about Alan is revealed. It looks like Tracy may go from thinking she's going to marry Alan to finding out she's actually been duped by his sociopathic twin. The Young and the Restless spoilers say plenty of stunning Martin news seems to be coming up, so we'll bring you more predictions on the captor reveal and updates on the intense aftermath. In a shocking twist that will have fans on the edge of their seats, The Young and the Restless is about to reveal a game-changing storyline involving Sharon Newman, Phyllis Summers, and a mysterious new villain named Martin. But this isn't just any ordinary antagonist, he's part of a much darker and more twisted conspiracy involving Alan, a character with a hidden connection to the past that no one saw coming. As if the drama surrounding Genoa City wasn't complicated enough, Y&R is about to introduce an evil twin who's running a chilling, high-stakes experiment that will change everything. The return of Alan and the secret experiment. For months, Alan has been a shadow in the background, his name spoken in hushed tones by a select few. He had a reputation for being a brilliant but cold-hearted scientist, whose groundbreaking research into human behavior and psychological manipulation was both revered and feared. But now, it seems like his past has finally caught up with him, and the consequences are far-reaching. Alan's death has been assumed for years until now. What the residents of Genoa City don't know is that Alan's twin brother, Martin, has been quietly pulling the strings behind the scenes. Unlike Alan, Martin is a man with darker motives and a far more sinister agenda. He's been using his brother's research to experiment with the minds and emotions of some of Genoa City's most beloved characters. But there's a twist: the experiment is more than just psychological manipulation. It's a social experiment, testing how far people are willing to go for love, loyalty, and self-preservation. The stage is set for an epic confrontation. The stakes have never been higher, and the emotional toll on the characters involved will be immense. Sharon and Phyllis, unlikely captives. Sharon Newman and Phyllis Summers have had their fair share of drama, but nothing could have prepared them for the terror they're about to face. Both women, who have had their own complicated relationships with Genoa City's finest, suddenly find themselves in the clutches of Martin's twisted plans. Sharon, the compassionate therapist and longtime friend to many, will find herself struggling to maintain her calm in a situation where the tables have turned. Trapped in a cold, isolated location and subjected to Martin's cruel experiments, she will need every ounce of her inner strength to survive. As someone who has spent her life helping others work through their trauma, Sharon will face the challenge of having to trust her instincts and rely on her resilience in a way she never has before. Phyllis, on the other hand, will fight tooth and nail to escape Martin's grasp. She's always been known for her fiery temper and fierce independence, but her backstory is filled with emotional scars that have made her both strong and vulnerable. With Sharon as her only ally, Phyllis will be forced to confront the unresolved issues in her life and past relationships. Her sharp wit and determination will serve her well, but will it be enough to break free from Martin's manipulations? Martin's twisted experiments go far beyond what anyone could have imagined. Using state-of-the-art technology and psychological techniques borrowed from Alan's research, Martin aims to push his captives to their absolute limits. He will exploit their vulnerabilities, forcing Sharon and Phyllis into impossible situations where their loyalties and deepest fears will be exposed. Each test will be designed to wear them down emotionally and mentally, with the ultimate goal being to break them. But Martin doesn't just want to torment Sharon and Phyllis for fun. He has a much larger vision at play. The experiment is meant to test the boundaries of human relationships, examining how far people can be pushed before they turn on each other or break down completely. In Martin's eyes, it's all part of a greater plan to prove his superiority, using his brother's research to manipulate the emotional and psychological landscapes of his subjects. In a particularly cruel twist, Martin forces Sharon and Phyllis to confront their pasts, revisiting old wounds and unresolved conflicts. Sharon's struggle with her past relationships, especially with Nick and Ray, will be put under a magnifying glass, forcing her to relive her most painful memories. Meanwhile, Phyllis will have to grapple with the broken pieces of her fractured relationships with both Jack and her daughter Summer. The emotional toll of reliving their pasts will take a significant toll on both women, and they'll have to dig deep to stay grounded. Alan's dark legacy. As Martin's experiment unfolds, it becomes clear that Alan's legacy is far more sinister than anyone realized. Alan's involvement with the Newman family and other key players in Genoa City is no coincidence. He had always been fascinated by the psychology of power and control, and his experiments were designed to break down the strongest minds. While his research was initially lauded for its potential to understand human behavior, the ethical ramifications of his work were soon buried in secrecy. It turns out that Alan had a hand in some of Genoa City's most dramatic events, manipulating key figures behind the scenes to ensure his experiments continued unimpeded. From sabotaging relationships to creating chaos, Alan's influence was felt even after his presumed death. But now, with Martin in control, the experiment is reaching its darkest phase. Martin's ultimate goal is not just to control Sharon and Phyllis, it's to manipulate the entire town. By creating rifts between old friends, lovers, and enemies, he aims to destabilize Genoa City and prove that no relationship can withstand the pressure of his psychological warfare. It's not just about Sharon and Phyllis, it's about testing everyone in their orbit. Will Sharon and Phyllis survive as Sharon and Phyllis struggle to navigate the treacherous waters of Martin's experiments? They will form an unlikely alliance. Despite their past differences, the two women will have no choice but to work together if they stand any chance of escaping Martin's clutches. Their friendship, forged under pressure and adversity, will serve as a beacon of hope in the face of insurmountable odds. The question on everyone's mind will be, will they survive? Will Martin succeed in his experiment, or will Sharon and Phyllis find a way to outsmart him and escape before it's too late? As the storyline unfolds, viewers can expect a roller coaster of emotions, twists, and turns that will keep them glued to their screens. One thing is for certain, The Young and the Restless is about to deliver one of its most thrilling and intense storylines yet. The fate of Sharon, Phyllis, and the rest of Genoa City hangs in the balance, and no one is safe from the consequences of Martin's evil experiment. Will Sharon and Phyllis triumph, or will Martin's wicked plan change their lives and the future of Genoa City forever? Only time will tell.